No, that's not it. Where is it? Okay. Mute microphone, turn camera off, invite people. Okay, I see that I've got 2 viewers. I've enabled group chat, so if you go to the top left of your Google Hangout screen, you'll see a blue text box, and you can click on chat, and it should open on the right of your screen over here. Yeah, on the right. I'm going to enable screen sharing so that I can go through the main points on the agenda today. And I'm going to keep this short and sweet. If you're having trouble hearing me, I'm sorry. I've turned up my mic and everything. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And we'll go ahead and go through the talking points. So first thing on the agenda for today is that the specialists for high school EOC courses for biology, math 1, and English 2, we have put in a proposal to bring the EOC summit and then the resulting best practices session back to Durham Public Schools. The way that this worked is that a PLC lead from each of the EOC tested courses from each high school attended the summit, where we focused on high frequency, high need standards on the EOCs, and then created a series of sessions or a set of sessions that we could use and present at the best practices session. That best practices session is then attended by all EOC teachers, and then they attend the sessions for their respective courses. So English teachers would come to the English 2 sessions that the English 2 Summit teachers designed and then actually present themselves. So the whole driving force behind the EOC Summit and best practices is that this is PD for the teachers, by the teachers. The second item on the agenda is Avast training for teachers. One of the things that we're starting to realize, that the CIA team has started to realize, is that teachers across the district, there's very little consistency about how trained teachers are on how to use Avast to get some data on their students and on their classes. So what I'm going to be asking for in an email tomorrow to all department chairs and IFs is to ask teachers, do they know how to build their class rosters in Avast? If that's something you know how to do and are comfortable doing, that's great. But I really feel that it's important for me as the English specialist to make sure that all of my teachers know how to do that. Avast is used to track growth for students, but it's also used to determine effectiveness for teachers. And I think if that's going to be used as one of the standards on your evaluation, that you should definitely have the training to know how to make the most use of the tools that are in that resource. So I'm going to be scheduling with department chairs a session where I will come to your school and I will show English teachers how to build class rosters in Avast and kind of go through some possible uses and ways that you can put that to use in your instructional planning and your actual classroom instruction. So department chairs, be thinking about a date and a time when I could come do that for your school. If you have common planning with your entire department, which I think doesn't happen anywhere, but I could come and stay for a couple periods if we could get most of the teachers through it. It would take me maybe about a half an hour to do the training, and then maybe some work time built in as well, so that teachers could get through building a custom report for each one of their class periods. But I'll come right to the school and do that. So that's the Avast training for teachers. I want to make sure you have the tools to use the tool that's being used to judge your effectiveness. I think that's only fair. The next item is a little bit more data. Benchmark data reports. Have you received your benchmark data reports? And by that, I mean for English 2 teachers, that's the only course that has a benchmark for English. So if you haven't received those benchmark data reports, I'm going to be emailing all English 2 teachers tomorrow and copying IFs and department chairs to find out who does and who does not have their benchmark data reports. One of the power of these reports is that it does give us some data by standard, and it gives us some data by genre. And that's loads more than the goal summary reports, which is basically the only breakdown that we get of data from the state for the EOC. So I want to make sure that all of our teachers have any data that's available to them, and this is one of those things. What I've been finding as I'm visiting schools and talking to teachers is that they might not necessarily have any access to these benchmark data reports, and I want to make sure, again, that you have these tools in your hand to help inform your instruction, especially since the EOC data doesn't give us any of that. It's basically useless data that we get from the EOC. So department chairs look for the email to gather information about who does and does not have access to the benchmark data reports. The fourth order of business is, this is something that I tried to get going this year and I was met with a lot of resistance from certain people. And they're starting to see why I was pushing it so hard in the beginning of the year. Some of you may have had the opportunity to attend a workshop at the Hill Center with Will Van Cleve. He does a lot of work with morphology for advanced decoding. I think this is a great way to address struggling adolescent readers. It is not foundational reading skills, but much rather it is a way to approach struggling readers at a more advanced and I would say accelerated way. Studying morphology would be an accelerated way for our struggling readers to increase their fluency, speed, and comprehension. So this summer, there will be some lesson writing and material creation opportunities for teachers. So kind of get the word out to your department. I will send a separate email for this. It means you're going to be getting a lot of emails tomorrow, but each one is kind of a separate initiative or project that we'll be working on across the district. So I'll be sending an email to department chairs with information and links to more detailed reading on morphology instruction for advanced decoding that you can then distribute to your teachers and let them know that this opportunity is coming up for the summer of 2016. I'm trying to nail down a budget and details before spring break so that teachers can begin planning their summer work. And that same timeline I'm working on for number 5 as well, from words to works, the building blocks of writing. This also might be a workshop that some teachers had the opportunity to attend at the Hill Center with Will Van Cleve. And this is something that we see consistently in all high school students, that they struggle with quality writing. And so this summer, again, there will be some lesson writing and material creation opportunities for teachers in the district. I'll send a separate email for that. I want to make sure all these, this information doesn't get jumbled up. So it'll be all separate emails with just the information for that project. Number 4 and 5 are two of the greatest needs that I hear from teachers around the district. And I can tell you, not just high school and not just English, these are two things that are really two obstacles to our student success. The morphology for reading and vocabulary, and the ability to turn the words that they know and the words that they are learning into works, to actual sentences and paragraphs and essays and stories. So those last two are big pushes for me that might not have a huge impact this year. In fact, they probably won't, except for maybe teachers get started reading it and interested in it. But it's definitely some support resources that I'll be looking to push out for next year, with the support in the form of those written documents, lesson writing and materials, but also support in some professional development available as well. So I see nobody has responded in chat. There are a couple of messages that I'm getting. I'm going to see. Get a brownie. Get a brownie. No. And so I'm trying to find, I don't see any more comments coming up on the comment page. So it's 4:21. I see that you're here, Marjorie. Yay! And I see Matthew. I feel like I'm on Romper Room, y'all. I see Marjorie, and I see Matthew, and I see Leslie. Don't let. And I see Brittany and Emily.
Stop talking loud.
No, I can't see your question, Emily. I thought I had this solved. I even sat with, and I see Teresa. I sat with Jerry Williamson, and he showed me how to do it differently to log on. So maybe I'll go back, instead of using Google Hangouts, I'll just do video calls. I don't know. I'm going to tell him I'm actually going to show him the recording of how this happened. So, but those are the 5 items for the agenda. I'm going to send a separate email for each one. Like I said in my email from last night, this really could have been an email, but I wanted to have our official meeting so I can turn this information into payroll. But I'll send more detailed information for each one of those 5 items tomorrow. I do need your help getting the word out to teachers about the heads up that the summit and best practices, we're trying to get that going again, and finding out about if teachers know how to build their classes in Avast, if they have access to data reports. Those two is just a yes or no from each of your teachers. And then for morphology and from the from words to works is giving them a heads up that those opportunities will come out. The information will come out right before spring break so that we can line up summer work and get that scheduled around teachers' other non-school life activities. So if you have any questions, you know you can email me and I will try and answer them. I can see Megan Wright. And Teresa still can't message me. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to go back to any meeting. Those always worked with y'all. But we became a Google district, so I'm trying to do the Google thing. But those are the 5 items that I had to share with you. If you have any questions, give me an email. My cell phone is 919-986-7498. Again, the cell phone is 919-986-7498. So you can email me or you can text me. But just please spread the word when I send these emails out to you all tomorrow. And fair warning that you'll get 5 separate emails. Actually 4. I'm not going to email you about the EOC Summit until I have details about that. But 4 separate emails of information that I need you to gather from your teachers or pass out to your, distribute to your teachers so that they know things are coming down the road. All right. Thanks for joining me. It's 4:25. I'm 5 minutes over. You have a great afternoon. Please let me know if you need anything, and I'll try and help in the best way possible. Have a good evening.